Hey guys, what's going on? Because this was never meant to be put on YouTube, the video quality, not so great. The content, I think you'll appreciate. So, without any further ado, roll the intro. Many of us have had great ideas for home improvement, right? But then somehow, well, life got in the way. Well, my friend had a really great idea for an entertainment center. They already had a niche in their living room, and he was gonna turn it into something special. Well, a year later, and it still looks like this. Obviously, this called for an intervention, so I'm gonna show you guys how I went from this to this. Look, even Tom Cruise is amazed. No more cables invading the living room. Every cubicle has its own electrical outlet, recessed lighting, and a really trick cable management system hidden behind the walls. You want to know how I did it? Keep watching, and of course, subscribe. Let's tidy up a little bit because we definitely need a clean slate. And now for your boring parts list from Home Depot. One outlet, geez, I need 3 more, so we'll branch from existing, over, and up. Fortunately, the existing could handle the extra load. This was supposed to be an easy project, but guess what? The back end of the niche was a shear wall, 3/8" particle board all the way top to bottom, side to side. This in turn caused an issue with the remodel outlet boxes because they couldn't accommodate the extra wall thickness. So instead of using the tabs to fasten them, I just countersunk some drywall screws and attached them that way. Normally you can't screw a handy box like this into drywall, but since we had the 3/8" particle board behind it, I was good to go. Next, I drilled some pilot holes in every location that I wanted an outlet. You want to be kind of careful here because last time I checked, it wasn't too healthy to cut into high voltage lines, alarm wires, or telephone lines. It was easy for me to check for wires behind the wall because there was no fiberglass insulation. If that hadn't been the case, I wouldn't have used a Sawzall and just used a manual drywall saw. Remember, safety first. This is the channel between cubicles for the cable management system. I wanted a simple and cheap way to manage the cables, keep them hidden, and be able to upgrade in the future. To do this, I used plain old 1" PVC pipe. I sliced the end off of a 1" PVC coupling and used it to secure the pipe inside the electrical box. A little bit of PVC glue holds it right in place. Remember how I cut the drywall channel at a 45-degree angle? Well, what I didn't tell you is that I saved the cut piece, and because of the angle, it is now super easy to put back, spackle, and blend into place. Can you tell where the patch is? Okay, jumping ahead a little bit, here you can see that I've already done the platform underneath and drywalled it in. Simple construction with 2x4s and 2x6s, nothing really special. For that extra bit of support, I did put a 1/2" piece of plywood underneath the drywall in that cubicle. Here you can see the last pieces of corner bead applied, and now it's pretty much ready to be spackled and textured. This is after the first coat of spackle. I used a 5-gallon bucket of spackle because it's pretty convenient and it's not that much more expensive than the spackle that comes in the little cardboard boxes. I just roughed in all the edges, all the corners, all the cracks I could find, and didn't worry too much about making it smooth because I had coats 2 and 3 still to come. These small corners over here are basically too small to put tape on. I mean, you could, but it's kind of a pain. So instead, I use latex caulking. I'll just put a nice bead of caulking over here. It'll blend in with the spackle, and once we get it textured, you won't ever see it, and it'll prevent any cracks from appearing. So here we are putting down some tarp, and we're going to enclose that whole area because the whole thing is going to be spray textured. Here's the plastic surrounding the work area, sealing everything off from overspray. The way you attach it to the ceiling, simply use some push pins. Very small hole, won't even see it. So what do you do when you want to add a recessed light to existing construction? Well, you've got to get creative. Since I didn't want to tear apart major sections of the wall and ceiling, I improvised. That little notch in the drywall, it helped me feed the lighting wire from the ceiling into the back wall down to the outlet for power. The switch used to control these lights is hidden underneath the middle shelf. I used the same method of wiring as I did here for the lights. As you can see, I kept a little piece of drywall, which will make it really easy to put back and match up once we're all done with this. In most cases there's a 2x4 behind the wall, but in this case we just have the 3/8 inch shear wall that was relatively easy to drill through. With a little bit of luck and good planning, I should be able to feed this right down to the new electrical box. In this case, there wasn't any insulation in the back wall, which made it relatively easy. Even if you do run into fiberglass insulation, on a short run like this, it's usually not a problem. Anything longer than this, and I'll use a fish tape. It's a handy dandy tool you can pick up at any home store. Please note that most building codes require nail plates when you have high voltage wiring just below the drywall. To make it all nice and professional, we'll use a Romex staple to tuck the wire back into the corner of the wall. Alright, here's where some more of the magic happens. So how do I get such perfect patch jobs? Patience, brilliance, and a crap load of spackle. Well, maybe less spackle and a lot more brilliance. Here's the first coat of texture. I usually dial the pattern in on a piece of cardboard to match the existing texture in the rest of the house. This particular texture required 2 coats, one for the larger general texture and a second one with the finer texture to round it out. I'm not going to detail the workflow here because, frankly, I'm no expert and my friends and family are pretty forgiving when it comes to my work. When you texture for a project like this, or any repair that you're going to be doing in a wall, you want to tape about a foot outside of the area that you're working with, maybe even more. That way you have an area that you can blend into. The line along the tape is going to show, so what you need to do is once the tape is removed, take a wet sponge and simply dab it along the edge to make the new texture blend in with the old texture. Once it's painted, you'll never know it was there if you do it right. This was shot after the second coat of texture, a coat of primer, and 2 coats of base paint. So here's my cable management solution in action. This is a standard HDMI cable, which I'm feeding through with no problem whatsoever. I know this may be hard to believe, but this is actually the first time I tried this PVC cable management idea in a real-world application. It worked out even better than expected. Next, I took these soft plastic blank cover plates, drilled a 1-inch hole in the center with a spade bit, and used them to finish off the installation. Make sure you use the soft plastic ones, as the hard ones tend to break. I'm sure I could have come up with a more elegant solution, but these were all hidden behind speakers or components, so it worked out just fine. So for an encore, here is the finished entertainment center. Note, Alexa sitting proudly on top. My friends were actually looking for a place to put Alexa, and the acoustics of the alcove on top worked out really great. It was almost as if the acoustics were designed for it. Needless to say, my friends are very happy. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Also, put your comments and questions below as I check and answer each one personally. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all your support. Alright, here I am in the middle of taping and what's that? Oh my goodness. It's a monster. It's a panda. Ah! Oh! Oh! It's Sawyer and Hudson. Oh my goodness! Ah!